Go out the back door. Yes.
That's what it is. Great.
It's too damn hot.
Oh,
But-
actually, gonna wear it. Go and see if we can put it on.
No, I'll just show it to you.
Oh,
This is my
damn it.
this is my studio
Come
COVID.
on, Dad.
Studio
Put it on.
COVID.
Put it on. Put
No, I
it
can
on.
only do it if I was nude underneath. It's too damn hot.
Oh, well, that can be
And
arranged,
this
that's
goes
fine.
on, and here's my mask. So I was going to come out and do it in this. So just imagine that. But that's just an affectation. What I'd like to do, I ran this past for what I should read with 4 eminent poet friends. They all had 4 completely different suggestions, including last night Richard and myself. Nobody could agree. So I thought, right, I'm going to interact with the audience here. And so I would like, I'm only going to read 5 short things, because that's about as much as we can stand of poetry. I'm going to ask you to think of a number between 1 and 300, and I will read out a little bit. Because in a way, there is no beginning and end to the book. There is no privileging. The thing is not constructed in a linear fashion. It's rhizomatic. It extends beyond this, Really, after I sell the limited edition, and I always do, because I have a number of people that want to buy them and so on, and I often include original artworks in them, which is why no sensible press would touch me. After that happens, I then put it up on lulu.com for free, download. So lots and lots of people around the world, if they're crazy enough, can download it, read it, and then get on with something more important. So that's really another form of this sort of net that meshes and extends out like crabgrass in every direction. So,
232.
okay.
And I really don't know what's on it. I really don't know. I think I have a look.
Okay.
That'll be good.
Oh, dedicated to you. Okay, this is 232. It's a photograph of Piotr Olański, a Polish, pretty pioneer audio artist, a Polish who came here in the late 70s, early 80s. And I made this film with him, which was sort of an anti-Bondi marathon. And he ran backwards from the finish to the start, dressed up. We had the numbers and everything, and he had Garrett McDonald little cut marks and everything. There's a little quote under it that said, "Art frames." Oh, glasses. That's right. I forgot I'm that old. Oh, it's a book. Art frames inconsolable images of friends who can never be replaced. He died, by the way, rather tragically, at too young an age. Art opens a gap that can never be filled. A piece of yourself leaves the gallery with them. As they continue to live inside us, art is a memorial, an interiority, turn bodies inside out. Next one.
17.
17?
Yeah, my age.
Yeah.
Well, sort of.
Okay, this is at the beginning of the book. It's funny. When it came back from the printers, on the top of the pile was a copy where it was printed back to front. And I thought, oh shit, no. All of them are printed back to front. But there was only one, so that is the most prized one. That's $200, that one. Anyway, this is a Japanese proverb, which says, if you don't understand, angle your head to the right. Or you can have a Chinese proverb, if we don't change direction, we're likely to end up where we are headed. So all the books about inclinations. Next.
45.
45? Okay, this is from a rather long poem, but I'm only going to read what's on that page. Convoy of nucleotides rolling around a plate. Managing to keep it horizontal and spinning is a circus skill all children should learn, given half the chance, by extension. Poetry is an extreme sport, dangerous to your health. Bungee jumping off a cliff in New Zealand on a wild holiday in the land that Val's forgot. Now, there's a couple of people here who are old performers from the circus days. I worked in a circus called Piggy Storm, and I worked in busking and so on. So that reference to magic is from sort of close to home. Next. 55. Ah, my ear. Okay, this is just a little drawing. You can see there, it's a sort of, squiggly thing. On one end is you and on the other end is me. There you go, Jetta. Meant to be. As you can see.
300.
Oh, there's always the minimalist. Okay. This is the first and last country on earth. We live in an airbrushed country of clearscapes and dry returns. You can see where it's come from. Where corpses are exquisite and poems have consequences. A vast continent of ruddy lines and hues, of last things and First Nations, of receding gums and rotting trees, brittle bones and silent reefs, a paradise of lucky lotteries, larval promises and endless reviews, royal commissions, white papers too, 1,000 reports, fly-by love-ins, rising seas of platitudes, sucking bores and bubble heads, fun of shimmery what-ifs, closed borders, sleeping coal ships. I love a sunburnt country, a land of fracking brains.
77.
77. As you said, most of them are very serious because I think it's the last tool we've got. Oh, okay. This is from a kind of a rap poem that sort of had too many amphetamines, signs you can't ignore. I'm just going to read the page 77. Piet Mondrian. This is for you. Hated diagonal. No, this is for you. Hated diagonal scintillation, offbeat boogie jokes, and even more than irony, he hated Van Doesburg's critical comments about straight-laced linear ideas on what art could be. And he still does. Whoops, sorry. It's a medical condition, I know. Toasting puns. Installing misdirections. Hi, Richard Tipping. Incidentally, wordsmithing shifters to cut across familiar road signs. Literary concrete jokes. Phrased, played on a blue neon guitar. You referenced Wallace Stevens there. Hybrid mixology meets stuff theory. Walking ideas on a short lead. Visually frying onions brings in the customers. So that's from a longer thing. One more.
122.
122. This is the way we should live our lives. Yeah. What is it? Number 42, steak and chips. We're all these announcements through our lives. I'm sorry, you have not won this time. Okay, this is a new theory of stripes. I'm rather proud of this because I invented this theory. From thick to thin by degrees of privilege. A wacky, semi-idiotic theory. Thanks, Pam Brown, for reminding me in passing. That's one of those in-jokes that Australian poets often do, just to let each other know that they're thinking of each other, even though nobody else has any idea. It doesn't give a stuff. It's like family, really. Reminding me in passing, structurally cultured studies inspired. Vertical says that I'm at work. Horizontal, a well-earned rest. Diagonal signifies the sporty type. Severity of difference, import of effects. Dark blue thin pinstripes are worn by serious lawyers and stockbrokers too. Fatter stripes for junior clerks and awkward, pimply-faced work experience wannabes. Weekend boaties go straight for horizontal, regular cut, fat bands. Casual, bougie stripes of pale blue and white. Nostalgic boaties out for a weekend. Sporty types inclined towards gold. Lances, sharp swords, and arcing arrows. Military sashes across the chest of arms. Prison clowns and political stripes. Trapped behind vertical black bars. Devout hippies and new age ferals. Spin out of technicolor swirls, rainbow flags and white bands, pink and blue identities, trans kaleidoscopes, into yellow gang on purple bikes, and it goes on.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Thank you. None of those were the ones we talked about.
Thank you very much, Kurt. It was absolutely marvellous. The book is chockers with really good poems, and that is hard to get me to say about
It is, that's true.
Yeah. Chris is a very, very tough critic, and she says it's great too. So anyway, I hope that you will enjoy some of our food here. Please don't let's waste it. Have a drink. There's lots to do there, and hang around and chat. And I'm sure that Kurt would be very happy to sign things.
Yep.
And sorry.
Buy some pictures.
Buy some paintings, yes. These are ones over here are very cheap. This one is literally 2/3 price what it should be, but you know, we won't talk commercially. This is all about art.
Oh, I just wanted to say, somebody asked me, why the hell did you bother having a show in Maitland? You've never been here before, you don't know anything about it. Why? And I said, because this place used to be called the Camp, because it was a convict camp for where the slaves were kept to work on the coal and various things around here. And I come from convict background myself. And secondly, it was then known as Molly Morgan, who was a convict at the age of 23, was nabbed for stealing hemp twine, hemp yarn. So she was a weaver, she worked with textiles. It's a kind of Thomas Keneally kind of story. I don't know why he hasn't done a book on it. It will be a movie, it will be an amazing book, because she was just such a wonderful person who owned land and helped set up hospitals and rode her horse to Sydney to defend convicts, and she just did all these amazing things, and she burnt down one husband's house just so that she could be sent back from England to Australia with her kids that she picked up on a boat that was named, wait for it, the Experiment. And she's just wonderful.
Yeah.
And I thought, Maitland, I've got to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it hasn't disappointed. It's the Nowra of the North.
It's the Paris of the Hunter.
Yes, thank you.
It's the Shanghai of the East.
Now it may be the Maitland of the South, but not sure there.
East Maitland.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good Congratulations.